Is it possible for you to control your money almost without thinking about it? I'm talking even if you don't consider yourself a numbers person. I think so. Imagine when you get up in the morning. You have a routine and I want you to think through every single part of it. My guess is this exercise takes more effort than the actual routine. And the reason why is because you formed habits. Habit formation is crucial to a successful financial life. And there's far more to it than just being consistent. There are 2 books I've read recently that break down the science behind habit formation. Now we're not going to get all scientific in this video, and if you want to, then you can read the books. Instead, I want to take the principles taught to give you actionable ways that you can form good financial habits. Habits that will allow you to control your money on autopilot. We want it to be just as easy as when you get up in the morning, let the dog out, make coffee, and leave for work. Probably brush your teeth. And we're going to get into that right now. Not the teeth brushing, the finances. Hello there, I'm Caleb. If this is your first time here and you want to learn more about practical ways to become a money person, then start now by hitting the subscribe button so you don't miss out on anything. Unfortunately, habits can be a real challenge to start. Sometimes be consistent just doesn't cut it. So here are 4 ways that professionals recommend forming new habits. And with these, we'll apply it directly to money. Now, most of these tips come from James Clear's book, Atomic Habits, but I would highly recommend you read that along with Charles Duhigg's book, The Power of Habits. Number 1, increase or reduce friction. This is one of the simplest habit strategies. If you're having trouble creating a good habit or breaking a bad one, try increasing or reducing friction when it comes to that habit. For example, if you have a spending problem, consider getting a separate account at a separate bank just for saving money. One where you're not able to use the money easily at all because you have to transfer it to your checking account before you can spend it. Now that's a good example of increasing friction. Automatic transfers is a great example of reducing friction. Let's say you find it challenging to save for retirement. If you have a Roth IRA, you can set up an automatic transfer of cash into it every month so that you don't have to force yourself to save. Now it just happens. Or you can sign up for that 401k plan at work and that money comes out of your salary before you even get your paycheck. Number 2, habit stack. Clear recommends the formation of habits on other habits you're used to doing, just by tacking the new habit on the end of the old one. Let's say you're wanting to do more push-ups. Habit stacking would suggest doing push-ups right after something else that you're used to doing, say brushing your teeth. So after you brush your teeth at night, you can hit the ground and do 10 push-ups. It stacks the push-up habit you're forming into another habit that you do without thinking. For example, when you start to watch a new YouTube video, you can habit stack by hitting the like button for the YouTube algorithm. When you apply it to finances, there's one habit stack that I think of immediately. Tracking expenses can be difficult to get into the habit of doing, and it feels overwhelming to catch up on. So try stacking the habit of tracking expenses onto the act of swiping your card. When you go to the grocery store or get gas, just input the expense into your budget immediately. Number 3, implement the 2-minute rule. Do you find it difficult to talk yourself up to budgeting? Commit to doing it for 2 minutes because anyone can do anything for 2 minutes. Every day, budget for 2 minutes. And you'll start to form a habit of controlling your money even for a short period of time. Then you can increase the amount of time that you budget to 3 minutes and 4 minutes. Make that gradual increase so that you can form a new habit without the shock of a new routine that causes you to drop off too early. Now before we get to the last habit suggestion, we gotta thank our sponsor, disc golf. If you want an activity that you can do with friends and is relatively low stress... Oh! Now who approved that clip for this video? Yes, we will talk later.
Sir, how do you feel about that?
Regardless, disc golf is a generally good game. 9 out of 10 would recommend. Number 4, name the habit loop and replace it. Every habit has a cue, routine, and reward. James Clear uses this example. The cue might be something like your alarm clock going off in the morning. The routine is getting out of bed and firing up the coffee pot. And the reward is waking up and being alert with caffeine from your favorite dark roast. Ironically, I am very tired right now. Maybe I need coffee. So how can we apply this to money? Let's say you and your friends like to hang out at the mall in your free time. Being at the mall all the time creates a spending habit in a lot of people. There's the cue, walking in the mall doors, the routine, shopping around, and the reward, buying something that you'll enjoy wearing at next month's chocolate milk convention. I would for sure go to that if that was a thing. Well, naming the cue, routine, and reward will help you by acknowledging the habit that you want to change. If you need to control your spending but you still want to hang out with friends, then consider going on a walk at a park, or spend time at one of your houses playing games together. You can get the satisfaction of spending time with your friends by entirely avoiding the cue of walking in the mall, and create a new routine with it. Replace your bad habit with a new one. Think about it this way. Electricity takes the path of least resistance to the ground. Habits are kind of like electricity. If you don't replace a bad habit with a new one, you'll fall back into the habit that's already been formed. It's the path of least resistance. Maybe not a perfect analogy, but you get my point. Now, by no means do I claim to be a professional when it comes to habits. I struggle with habits just like you do, even financial ones. I just want you to remember that small habits are what will make a change. James Clear makes that point with an analogy of an airplane taking off from LA and traveling to New York City. If the plane makes a change in its trajectory of just 3.5 degrees, then it would put the plane in Washington, D.C. instead of New York City. And that's just a 1% change in trajectory. The point is, creating good habits isn't necessarily easy. You can absolutely do it, but focus on the small ones and build from there. It's not the single run tonight that'll lose the pounds, it's the runs over and over and over that'll change your health. It's the budget tracking after every purchase that'll create a financially independent person. If there's any point to take away from Clear's book, it's that a 1% change every day can drastically change your trajectory. What's a way you can make a 1% change in your finances? Maybe it's literally investing 1% of your income into retirement. Maybe it's spending 1% less on groceries this month. Budget for 2 minutes after you brush your teeth every night. Maybe it's putting 1% more towards paying off your debt. For me, it's probably spending 1% less on groceries. It's not much, but it's a start. In terms of habits, I really can't speak highly enough about budgeting. It can be a challenging habit to form, but if you focus on that 1% change, it's totally doable. Completely and totally doable. Now, if you want a more in-depth look at how you can change your habits, then check out the 2 books that I mentioned, Atomic Habits and The Power of Habits. And let me know in the comments down below what 1% change you plan to make with your finances. And if you found this video valuable, then hit the like button, subscribe button, and notification bell. I'd really appreciate it. And remember, money doesn't have to be confusing. You can control it. If you want to check out one of my other videos, then you can watch this video up here. And if you want to watch a playlist all about financial tips that you can apply in your own life, then check out this playlist down here.